Hello, welcome to everyone in the United States and around the world. This is Love, Truth, and Peace. Dr. Melody Harris Barrow coming to you live from Miami. I started this show because God gave me a vision to equip nations, people, and business through trade and economic growth, and to empower those that are oppressed. It's time now for all of us to mobilize globally to create a positive change for our children and future generation. Today's topic, preparing our children for the future. And to discuss, I would like to introduce my special guest, Michelle Coleman Johnson. She's the president of Genuine Partnership to Success and Associates. Welcome, Michelle. How are you?
I am wonderful, and thank you, Dr. Barrow,
Sure.
for allowing me to be your special guest and to talk about this very special subject that you just mentioned about our educational system, but more importantly, about our children and our youth. So thank you.
Thank you, Michelle Johnson. It is a great opportunity to have you on my show, Love, Truth, and Peace. This show is to bring awareness in the world of what's going on in our communities, in our nations. And I'll tell you something, we have had some great shows that people have not seen, things that people have not heard. And I'm sure most of us are familiar with the public school system. And you are presently in Chicago. Tell us a little bit about you, because you have done some great things in your community. Go ahead.
I sure will. Well, again, I want to thank all the viewers that are viewing for chiming in. But I want to begin by just sharing that I'm an education individual at heart. I'm an educator. I love it. And in 1990, I actually began as an educator, but I started off as a substitute teacher. And I moved from that to becoming a full-time teacher, secondary teacher. And from that, I transitioned to becoming an administrator in 2005. And I've been a principal at a junior high, a principal at an elementary school, and therefore it has given me the opportunity, and it has expanded, that is, and exposed me from pre-kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And currently, I am an educational an educational consultant. I'm also a professional trainer. I'm an author, and as you mentioned earlier, I am
Wonderful.
CEO and founder of Genuine Partnership to Success. So that's just a little glimpse about who I am.
That is wonderful. I told you guys, we're going to have a wonderful show today because this is talking about our children. Many of us have grandchildren right now. Many of us have children that are attending either college or high school or preschool. Let's talk about the system. Let's talk about the school system. And this is why it's called a system. But this system is not working for our children today. It never did, and it never will, as the way it is today. We have to make a lot of changes. And as a principal, former principal, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of children today that's being put in different programs because they're saying that these children are not articulate, they don't have what it takes, so they put them in special programs. I want to talk about all of that today. And as you being a principal, former principal, I really want us to address these issues. First of all, I would like to ask you, as far as curriculums in the school, how is that let's talk about the curriculum, because we are making or creating these curriculums for whom? And for all the children to be, it's almost like it is a system. And let's talk about that part of the school system today.
Okay. First of all, I want to share with the viewers, we hear the word curriculum, but do we really understand what curriculum is and what it means? And whenever we hear that word curriculum, that just simply means what we do on a day-to-day basis. I begin to think about, as you were talking, how when I was going through the educational system, and then I became involved in the educational system, the difference between then versus now. And back then, as I was going through the educational system, it was more relational, Dr. Barrow. In other words, if I were to ask you, who was your favorite teacher? People would automatically, their mind would go to someone that took the time to explain, that took the time to care for you and walk you through things. Well, somehow this educational system it switched because we became more into achievement. We came more into assessment. It became less about the child and more about meet the annual yearly progress report. Did we meet the mandates of the core standards that our system has set up? And it's less about the child. And as a result, we're losing our children. So, you know, when we talk about this curriculum, we're becoming so curriculum driven where we're forgetting about the children. And may I say this, we're losing them. We're losing children, we're losing our youth, and they're falling through the cracks. And the way I put it is that they're out there fending for themselves. And we need programs. And I'm going to use the African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. But I would like Dr. Barrow to just throw out the question, what if the village is crumbling? What if children are out there fending for themselves? Or not, that's what's happening. And we're taking them to the streets. And genuine partnership to success is about building partnerships the right way so that we can band together to come up with the solutions that's going to help our children and our youth be successful.
Right. Well, let's face it, our kids now, their education is insufficient. And to a certain extent, our children are not even paying attention anymore because they're bored, they're tired of learning something that's not applying to today's society, especially when it comes to technology. You know, our generation, really, we have not, I would say that we were taught, I was born in Panama City, Panama, in Central America. And yes, we might have been advanced when it comes to math and science and things like that. But when it came to our history, we did not know anything about our of Africa. We didn't know anything. So we were taught according to where you are born or where you reside, you are going to learn the history. For example, we learned the history of Spain. We learn everything about the pirates. We learn everything that's concerning that. But our history, we didn't know anything about our history. And that is something also I want to touch base. I want to talk to you about, because GPS, Genuine Partnership to Success and Associates, GPS is a program that brings the family, the community, the parents, and also the student. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So education is not just about math and science, but it's about us, about who we are. Because if we lose that, then we lose everything. So I want you to talk about GPS now, because I think the program that you have is very interesting. And this can trickle down not only in the United States, because you reside in Chicago, but all throughout Africa as well. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I want to kind of pick up with the curriculum all the way up to, as you were saying about GPS. Uh,
Yes.
and you mentioned about understanding and knowing our history. But I want to say this, Dr. Barrow, what is happening with our educational system? We have individuals that are making decisions without involving all stakeholders. And that's part of the problem. You have, let's say, our government, even our federal government, they're making decisions without considering others' perspective. It
Mhm.
is so crucial for us to understand our history. Yes, that should be a part of the curriculum, but if you're making decisions for us and you don't know that, and then you
Mhm.
just passing it down and then demanding your public schools, your private schools to teach this, then yes, there are going to be holes in that curriculum. And
Yes.
so what GPS does, we are saying that no man can necessarily make the decision for all. We need one another in order for true success to take place.
Yes.
And that includes, yes, our city officials, that includes the government, that includes parents.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't consider our parents. Our parents are so important and a
Mhm.
very key, what I call ingredient to the child's success. However, as I was saying, as I was raised, we know that things and times have changed. So you have a
Mhm.
lot of kids that's living in single family homes, and a lot of our parents, they're working to provide for the children, but who's there left raising the kids?
Yeah.
Who's there seeing to them getting their education? Again, our kids are fending for themselves. And so when it comes to the curriculum, when it comes to just our educational system being successful, we have to be reminded that it's going to take everyone. It's going to take that
Everyone.
entire village,
Yes.
as we were saying. I want to continue to use that analogy. It's
Yes.
going to take the entire village to
Yes.
really see true change in our communities, to see true change in our educational system. And
Mhm.
so, what GPS does, what we do, we teach them the 5 key strategies that are research based to building what we
Yes.
call culture of learning, whether it's within the home, whether it's within the community and
Mhm.
the school system. That's what we do. And we are trained and certified to do that. And I tell you, when we can come together as
Mhm.
one, unified with one goal in mind, and that is to ensure that our students, that are, well, I'm going to say our children and
Mhm.
our youth are self-sufficient, that they are successful. We can come together. There's nothing that we cannot accomplish, and that's what GPS does.
Yes, yes. I am so impressed with your program because oftentimes we don't have a backups. There's different chapters, schools in the city of Chicago. I was reading the other day, and
Mhm.
I saw that there are successful schools in the city of Chicago, and I
Absolutely.
would like to show this picture here with this school program that they have in the city of Chicago. I think one of the things is this. We are depending on a government to educate us. And I want to talk about that because this show is about not only talking about the educational system, but also about racism in the system of the educational system.
Mhm.
Because we can't take that away. Because when I first arrived to this country in 1976, I was advanced, let me see, I think to the next grade right away after taking the test. So that tells me that the United States is a little behind when it comes to grammar school, when it comes to high school, right? And there was a young man that the professor, the teacher asked him to read, and the science book, but it was biology, and he could not read. And I think we were junior. We were junior. And I was shocked because how did he get to that point, right? And he could not read. This is what, and he was white. He was not black. He was white. So what would this kid do, right, in the world? What can he do if he cannot read? So what I'm saying is that the school system in America is what you see today is a product of the school system. What we're seeing violence, we're seeing all these things. But I say that we have to take responsibility. Parents have to take responsibility, and there are people that need to create the schools, our own schools. I think it's time enough for us to begin to do that, because if we leave the school system in charge of our children are not going to make it, and it's getting worse. So what suggestion would you have, Ms. Johnson, as far as having our school system, our own school program like this gentleman did? Because we're complaining and complaining. The solution is not there. You have a solution. GPS have a solution, because you saw as a principal, former principal, it was not working. So you decided to say, you know what, I am going to do something about it. And you did. And you did. So I want us to get to the core of how is the process of GPS? What do we do? What do parents do? What does the community have to do to be part of GPS?
Let me first answer your question, then we're going to go to talking directly what our parents and all the stakeholders can do, and just kind of really guide them through this process. Dr. Barrow, I want to say there's a saying that we use: to know better is to do better. And it really doesn't matter whether we have our own or we take the current system that we're in. It doesn't matter. But if you know how to teach, if you understand the culture in which you're in, if you understand the child's economic background, ethnicity, if you have knowledge of that and you take care and concern, I'm telling you, change will take place.
Okay.
And with GPS, what we do, we are what I call specialists. And we go in with these 5 key strategies, whether it's with parents, whether it's with educators, and we take our time and we teach you the methods on how to communicate with our children, or with administrators, or with parents. See, if I wasn't raised in your culture in Panama, I may have some difficulties communicating with the parents. I can easily offend them. And so what happens is that we come in various communities and various cultures, and no one has taken the time to train or to teach them how to communicate. And oftentimes we offend them. And I'll say, like Dr. Phil said, he said, it doesn't matter how flat a pancake is, it will always have 2 sides. So what does that mean? You can't go in just with your perspective or just with your experience. You need to look at other people's perspective. You need to understand, their culture. You need to understand, their environment, because this is where they live. And we're coming in and we're saying we want to teach you, but you can't teach me what you don't know. So what does GPS do? We come together and we teach you how to partner the right way. And so we teach you how to communicate. We teach you the methods on how to communicate, how to connect. And because there's a trust issue, oftentimes people are not going to automatically trust you. You have to build healthy
Right.
relationships, so that the trust can be established. And this is the most important key strategy that GPS teaches, and that is how to set goals. We
Mhm.
don't set goals. Oftentimes we go into various school systems or
Mhm.
communities, and we have our own agenda. Some people just into the educational field, just to be in the educational field, maybe to get their loan paid for. I don't know. Maybe that's the only job they can get.
Right.
You don't know other people's motives. So just because they're there doesn't mean that they have the same goal. But the purpose of GPS, we go in and we unlayer that, we unpack,
Right.
and then we all come up with one common goal, and we move in that direction so that we can hit our target. Because if truth be told, Dr. Barrow, it's not about any of us. It's about this next generation that we're losing, and
Yes.
they need this village. They
Right.
need us, bottom line. And it
Yes.
doesn't matter whether or not it's in the United States,
Mhm.
whether it's in the city of Chicago, the suburban area, whether it's in Florida, whether it's in New York. We're all having the same problem over in Africa. We've been to Africa,
Yes.
GPS said, and yes, they love our program there.
Yes.
So this is not just for this nation, this is global
Yeah,
that we're talking.
exactly.
But the bottom line is that we're going to have to come together if we want to see the success, and if we want to see the next generation move forward and be successful. And it
Right.
starts with the village.
Yes. Thank you for that. And Tony Young would like to know if GPS is virtual.
Yes, we're move. Of course, we have to move in that direction due
Good.
to the pandemic. So absolutely, we're
Yes.
working now with the district, and some of it is going, remote, and then others is, in person.
Right.
But I will tell you that our methodology, which really brings us together, is participatory, because we need to be able to participate as a whole. And so yes, we're still sharpening that, because that is one key method of
Mhm.
GPS.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yes, Mr. Don Bay said that Dr. Umar Johnson building a Pan-African education system for us. I think what we really all need to do, and I would like to bring this up, the fact that all educators and everyone that are really working like Mrs. Johnson, and Dr. Umar Johnson, we all need to come together.
Yes.
We can all be building, and we're not communicating with each other. So I will suggest that also Dr. Umar Johnson, I would love to have him on the show, Don Bay. But one of the things that I'm learning now is that there are many, many educators that are creating their own programs for our children. But one of the things is that I would love for all of us to get to sit together, and for all of us to begin to exchange information, to work together as a team for our children. I think that that's important. And for those that are listening, for those that are doing what you're doing, I have a program that's coming up. It's going to be huge. And I would love for all of you to get in touch with me in order for all of us to come together, because this has to stop. I don't understand how is it that we expect a system to educate us and oppress us at the same time. And this is happening in Africa as well. And I have to mention this because it's the same problem. There are many countries in Africa that's independent, but really, are they independent? Because they're using the same educational system that the colonializers have left, the same political system that the colonializers have left. So we have to begin now to change this. Our children are not going to succeed because they're not teaching them technology, science. Our children don't even think about, I want to be an astronaut. They can't even go there. Their mind can't even go that far. So we have to begin now to teach our children, create our own school programs and system. I hate to use the word system because, and I hate to use the word training, because I think with what our oppressors have done is train us to serve. Uh, we don't even think about being entrepreneurs. Now I know the Jewish community, they have their own school program, their own school, and I understand why, because they know the public school system, it doesn't work, right? So we need to create, we need to stop all the complaining. My people that are listening to me, oh, my kids are not getting the right education. Then all of us need to come together somehow and begin to have this conversation. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's not working for us. It's not working for the Latinos. It's not working for Africans. It's not working for non-whites in this country, Ms. Johnson, because we are dealing with, I'm telling you, we're dealing with so many things. We're dealing with protecting our children day in and day out. You have to teach our children how to speak to a police officer when they're stopped. This is too much pressure on our children, you know. And I'm thinking, well, with Dr. Umar and many others, let's sit down. Let's talk about how even GPS can be part of some of the programs out there. I do believe that, Miss Johnson. And
sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, I hear your passion and your passion for change, but because the issue, the concerns is so great, you know, and I love what you said. It has to start somewhere, and the starting point would have to be for us to come together. And yes, we have what is called a 3T effect. And I know you say you don't like train, but our position and our purpose is that when you are properly trained with research based, because I believe whatever you do, it needs to be proven with research based strategy. That is what will produce transformation. And then the transformation will then transcend our very expectation. And that's why I'm a firm believer. Even if you were to set up your own school, what are you going to do? Are you going to isolate yourself from others? And it kind of reminds me of the book that you've written, Dr. Barrow. And I love that book that you've written because I read it. And you use an analogy in that book about the crabs.
You love that one.
And it was kind of profound for me.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, hold on. You know, we were never meant to be in a barrel. And so we always use that analogy, you know, about pulling one another down when one trying to get out. But I want to take it even a step further, taking that same analogy. Whether we know it or not, all of us are in a barrel. And instead of one trying to get out, why can't we come together, all the crap that's in the same barrel, and plan on how we all can get out?
That's right.
The public schools,
That's right.
the Christian, because see, GPS, we're not biased. We're saying we want those that are in Africa, those that are part of the islands, those that are Panama, those that are right here in the United States. We're looking at the next generation.
Yes.
And then we're looking at a generation that is just laying by the wayside, which are those that we used to glean from. Those are those that had a wealth of knowledge, our elderly, you know, seniors. I love them. Let me say that. I love the seniors.
Yes.
I love you. So if you're viewing and you're a senior, you have so much to offer because you have experience and you have them, and we need to glean from that. But guess what? There's a gap.
Yes.
We have a youth, we have our children, they're out in the streets, they're doing what they want to do. So all of us are in this barrel. But we all now need to come together and say, you know what? It's not about you making it. It's not about you on the South Side or you in the elite area of Florida, or you because you're this nationality. Yeah, it's about all of our youth.
That's right.
Because if we don't save our youth and our children, guess what? We're going to reap, the repercussions of it. They're
Exactly.
going to hit us upside the head and don't care. It's
That's
happening
right.
now.
Yes.
And so therefore, we have to now look at it that we're all in this barrel, but we all need to come together and say, okay, let's do this. Let's band together and let's stack on top of each other till everyone is out of the barrel.
Right. That is so good because the problem is that the crabs in a barrel, we were taught that we are tearing each other down.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that is when I first arrived to this country in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not believe that because when you think about it, is that who's putting the crabs in a barrel? And who does the barrel belong to?
Love it. Yes.
That was my question in my head. Who's putting the crabs in a barrel?
Mm-hmm.
You're putting the crabs in a barrel because you understand a system that once you put the crabs in a barrel, that's not their environment in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you are going to find that the crabs are trying to come out of there because they know they don't belong there.
Yes.
So the bottom line here is that everyone is taking this story from one generation to the next.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if I tell my children, guess what? We can't work together because we tear each other down. Then he tells his children and so on. Guess what's going to happen? That's what we're going to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot believe that.
Yes.
Because I know of quite a few people all over the world. I've traveled the world. And all they're saying is, let's work together. And for some reason, there are many of us that are saying we cannot. But let me tell you guys something. And listen to me very carefully. We can work together. I am working with my brothers and sisters around the world. Whether you're African, whether you're from the Caribbean, Latin America, the Pacific, wherever. It has gotten to a point now we don't have a choice but to work with each other. We don't have a choice to think about it. Because the more we think, the more we're going to be destroyed. So parents, don't just send your children to school and expect teachers are going to make this miracle that your child is going to come out with great ethics and morals. That is your responsibility. That is your responsibility to educate your child, not the teacher, not the principal, not the social worker, you. Because we have to now take responsibility for our children. And that's why I have GPS, Miss Johnson, on this show. Because she have created a program to include everyone. Parents, whether it's grandmama, granddaddy, everyone needs to come together now in order for us to begin this transition, in order for our children to grow, in order for our children to think business, because this is also what it's about. You cannot have your child just going to school day in and out and you're not participating. We all have to participate. Even the community have to participate. So yes, the crabs in the barrel don't exist for me because I know that we can all work together because I'm working with quite a whole lot of my brothers and sisters, Michelle, and you know that. So are you. Yeah. And so are you. You went to was it Nigeria, right? You were in Nigeria. Yes. And you want to have your program in Africa, in the world, globally. Yes. And this is something that we need. If someone comes up with something for our children, let's embrace it. And those of you that have this program, come to my show and let's talk about it. so that way we can embrace each other and work with each other. That stuff in a barrel, it doesn't exist for us. Let's start working together now. This is a new time. This is a new
Absolutely.
time. Now,
Absolutely. And that's
Felipe wanted to ask a question. I think it's a question. He says, how do you see the role of GPS in shaping the education of our children in the age of COVID and its challenges?
in fact, and that's an excellent question because I've written, well, not me, but GPS, we have books that does just that, that's specifically for remote learning. And we're going to have a special gifts for you. But let me just kind of get into the remote learning book and what it does. There's a 4-book series, pre-kindergarten to second grade. And it's entitled Mommy and Me. And I don't know if you have that so that they can see.
Yes,
And
yes.
then you have the 3rd through 5th that's entitled Walking Together. Then you have something for 6th through 8th that is entitled Running Together. And then you have your high school, which is 9th through 12th. And let me share just a little bit about that remote learning book. And this is something that GPS does. And that's why I say we don't tell you what to do, but we show you how to do. But the creativity behind the workbooks, it is highly interactive. It's about getting your child off the couch and really into learning. But these books, what they do, they teach life skills at their level. And it coincides with the United States and this nation, the Common Core. So that's across all 50 states. And so it is something as minute as, for example, you can have your 6-year-old to pick up the phone and call a grandparent or call someone and just tell them what they ate for dinner. Something as simple as that, putting it in order, in sequential order, like, well, grandma, I ate, chicken, rice, da 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 da. And just based on them doing that little activity, they are meeting one of the Common Core standards, because our first graders need to know how to articulate and communicate in sequential order. And so there are activities such as that, how to make ice cream. Now you're bringing in the science portion of it, or how to create a rocket within the home. And we're talking about, let me go back to the ice cream from one ingredient. So all of these activities are in the book, but it doesn't stop with the activities. There are questions that you have to ask your child regarding the activity, and allow them to articulate and explain to you. And so what is happening just by doing that? You are bringing the family unit together. You're teaching your child life skills, and you are reinforcing what is taught in the classroom by the teacher, but you're doing it from the home. That's the creativity that we have at GPS. And you can actually order those books online, and you can get PDF as well as ebook, and you get them both for very low cost. But today we're going to be giving away free books. So for those of you that are homeschooling, we don't tell you what to do. We're going to show you how to do it. So for the homeschoolers, we want to give that to you. If you are,
Wait a minute.
I know.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Did you say that you are going to give these things for free, these books?
For free. And I'm going to tell you, but I will tell you, this is only for the viewers for today, not for those that chime in tomorrow and listen. So you need to let them know, because I'm going to give you the code to put in, and you can download your book, either PDF, or if you have EPUB, you can get the ebook of it.
Yeah.
It's yours completely free. Because here's the thing, we're not a crowd. I keep going back to that. And we know that during COVID, that some people are struggling. So it's not about even making money. It's about getting information into the hands so that we can make a difference. It's about partnering the right way. And that's what GPS is. We're genuine. Think about it. And we're saying partnership.
Yes.
True success is when we can come together. And I need to say this, that there's a difference in being unified and being one.
Yes.
Because being unified, we can have on the same uniform, but my attitude can be off. My motives can be impure.
Yes.
I may just want to use Dr. Barrow to lift my business. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yes.
I have impure motive. But oneness is when we have the same mind and saying, you know what, let's band together. Let's come together to make a difference. And I know that about you, Dr. Barrow, and I want you to know I appreciate you. You are one that's saying, look, let's all come together to make a difference and bring forth, those that are in the islands, and let's see what other programs that have pure motives so that we can make a change in the nation, in the world. And that's what I love. And that's what I call oneness.
That's it. Thank you so much. Now tell us now, how can we get the free books for those only that's watching right now?
Yes.
So I want to see you guys put in a star or something so I know who's going to get these books.
Absolutely. And
so tell us about how we get the books. Yes.
Sure. And it's for our newest series. We've just written 5 new ebooks. One that is entitled Quick Tips for Homeschoolers. And I know you will love that. Another one is specifically for our teens. Sometimes we leave out our teenagers. So if you have a teenager, I would encourage you, get the book, get the ebook. It's easy reading, but it's quick tips for them. And then for educators, let me say this. We appreciate you, the hard work that you do. And research says that teachers make anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 decisions in one day. And I get it. I was a teacher for years, and people just tell you what to do, and you have to try to juggle it, as well as, I got a life at home, and I have children at home. And so you're juggling everything. We have something special for you too. And that book is entitled, I believe, the Classroom Management Behavior. Everything that's in our books are research-based. If you want to know treats, that's free to you. And this is what you do. You go to the website, and I believe Dr. Barrow's going to put it up, www.gpspartnership.com. That's www.gpspartnership.com. Go to, I believe, the icon that says more, and go to the shopping area. Once you go to the shopping area, you just scroll down to one of those 5 books. And you're going to see other books. You're going to see some other things that we've created, wonderful prices. But those 5 books that I just mentioned, even there's one on summer camp, as well as cool treats. But you can get those books for free. Once you click on one of those ebooks, just put in the code FREE, FREE, because they're going to ask, do you have a special code? When you click it, just look over to your right, and you're going to see 0. You put your name in, put your email address. When you put your email address, the download is going to be sent to that email, and that's it. It's yours.
Yes, I thought it was here. Could you give us that website again? www.
GPS partnership.com.
Very good.
Yeah, we're going to help
on the screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell you what.
So you guys better start watching this show more often, because you guys are going to be getting freebies from our guests. Wonderful. Yes. Let me write this in. GPS
partnership, all one word, .com. and you
Good.
will learn more about what we do. You'll see videos, you can see testimonies um, from some of our venues that we've been to. And so just scroll through our website, and you can contact if you have information regarding GPS and you desire our services. Just fill out the information box and someone will get back with you, and we would love to serve you. That's what we do best.
Well, I hope I can get my book.
Absolutely.
I want to leave some information with you guys too. Some information that I received here. No, that wasn't it. Sorry about that. The problem: more than 21,000 students in Chicago Public School, or CPS, are being left behind. They're attending schools that fail to prepare them for life. And that's what's happening not only in the United States, but it's now happening around the world. We have to change that. It's happening in Panama as well. It's happening all over. I think it's gotten to a point now where we are going to have to protect our children. We are the one that's going to have to educate our children. As Ann mentioned, Ann Young, she is tutoring, she's homeschooling 3 foster boys aged 13 and 14. This is great, Ann. I appreciate what you are doing. You are awesome. And there are many that I know that are schooling their children at home. And maybe that's what we have to do. This is why this is a great opportunity for teachers,
Yes.
principals, that they can have this schooling at home or virtual, which is a good thing. And I'm glad that GPS is virtual. And is there now, when they connect with you on the website, they'll be able to get also the your email and more information. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And can I say this?
Sure,
In
sure,
regards to the
sure.
one that you read about the 21,000 students.
Yes.
I have to say this. We're
Sure.
way above the 21,000. And I know that you're
Okay.
just talking about those that are in the city, and my heart crushed because I've always had a passion for our youth and for our children. And what has happened is that we have so many that are having babies that are young, and they do not have the ability to educate their children. And that's why I used earlier to know better. You know, when you know better, then you can do better. But
Yeah.
when you don't know what to do, and the streets are left to raise
Right.
children. And so I am sending out what I call a clarion call, that if we are really concerned, because see, what's happening in this education today, people are making decisions for our children, and they are not involving the children in the
Yes.
decision process, but
Yes.
those are the ones that it's affecting the most. They
Yes.
are involving our children, but they're not involving the parents that have to also care for them. They're not involving them in that process. They are not involving our teachers, and they're the ones that's left with the brunt on their shoulders. So they sometimes feel beat up and beat down because
Yes.
people really see everything that they do, or the administrators. When I was an administrator, I would stay there to 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock at night, just trying to make things fit. But I'm
Yes.
telling you, it's difficult
Yes.
only when you row a boat alone. If I do it on my own, it's more difficult. But if we
Exactly.
can all get in this boat together and say it's time to make a change, and we're going to all have to come together in order to make it happen. So
That's
we need to,
right.
our politicians, our aldermen, those city officials, let them know you
Yeah.
get representatives, and not from one community, but make sure you spread it out throughout. Because remember, there's always more than one perspective. As Dr. Phil said, I don't care how flat you think a pancake is, it will always have two sides.
That's right. That's right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Michelle Johnson, it was such a pleasure to have you on my show. And I hope the audience enjoyed this show. And I hope that you are thinking now about let's work together, let's make this happen.
Yes.
And if you would like to reach me, you can reach me at info at melitaharrisbarrow.com. We're going to continue to have these shows because we need to learn from each other. And I love to bring awareness to our community and to our nations. I really appreciate all of you, Gloria and Ann, and just all of you. You guys are, I know Gloria, she's on my show every Thursday. I love you, Mama. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Gloria, I love you, Mama. And those of you that's always connecting, I love you all. And let me tell you this. We are going to do better. Because we love each other. And those that don't have that love in your heart, get on this ship. Because this ship have a lot of love. This is why I call this show Love, Truth, and Peace. And I want you to subscribe. Please subscribe to Dr. Melita Harris Barrow on YouTube. Click that subscribe button and share the information with your colleagues, with your friends and family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing this information to us. And please, you better sign up with GPS. You're going to get free books. So thank you very much.
Can I give that one more time?
Yes.
Again, that's www.gpspartnership.com.
Yeah.
That will only last until midnight tonight. So you can call others and tell them to log on, get the free book. We really don't mind because, again, we're all in this barrel together, but we all need to get out of the barrel because we were never meant to be in it. So I say that to all of you, and those of you that believe in what we call our 3T effect, that when you are properly trained, transformation will come, and you will begin to see the transcending expectations, even above your expectation, and what's needed for today. So thank you, Dr. Barrow, for having me. I am so grateful and so excited about what's to come.
Thank you. Genuine partnership to success. GPS. Good night, everyone.